right. It says mystery of soprano's flight. Mystified, all the papers say. We are mystified, we suspect foul play. Bad news on soprano scene. First Carlotta, now Christine. Still, at least the seats get sold. Gossip's worth its weight in gold.
So this is that beautiful entrance to the opera house, what's known as the grand staircase. You saw that in the cutaway view, if you remember that. And this is an important part of the story. A little later on, we'll come back to this area again, but this whole next scene takes place here.
What a way to run a business. Spare me these unending trials. Half your cast disappears, but the crowd still cheers. Opera, to hell with Gluck and Handel. Have a scandal, and you're sure to have a hit.
Damnable, will they all walk out? This is damnable.
Andre, please don't shout. It's publicity, and the take is vast. Free publicity.
But we have no cast.
Andre, have you seen the queue? Ah, it seems you've got one too.
Dear Andre, what a charming gala. Christine was, in a word, sublime. We were hardly bereft when Carlotta left. On that note, the diva's a disaster. Must you cast her when she seasons past her prime?
Dear Fearman, just a brief reminder. My salary has not been paid. Send it care of the ghost by return of post. PTO. No one likes a debtor, so it's better if my orders are obeyed.
Who would have the gall to send this? Someone with a puerile brain.
These are both signed OG.
Who the hell is he?
Oh, for a ghost, it's nothing short of shocking.
He is mocking our position.
In addition, he wants money.
What a funny apparition.
To expect a large retainer, nothing plainer. He is clearly quite
Where
insane.
is she?
You mean Carlotta?
I mean, Miss Di, where is she?
Well, how should we know?
I want an answer. I take it that you sent me this note.
What's all this nonsense?
Of course not.
Don't look at us.
She's not with you then?
Of course not.
We're in the dark.
Monsieur, don't argue. Isn't this the letter you wrote?
And what is it that we're meant to have written?
This scene is actually performed like an opera, and in an opera, everything is sung. So when people would normally be having a conversation back and forth, they're actually singing all their parts back and forth. It's a little confusing at times when we get toward the end of this scene, because just like in a group, if everyone were talking or asking questions at the same time, everyone is singing their own parts at the same time. So it gets a little confusing and a little hard to understand.
Do not fear for Miss Daae. The angel of music has her under his wing. Make no attempt to see her again.
If you didn't write it, then who did?
Where is he?
Oh, welcome back.
Your precious patron,
Where is he?
What is it
I
now?
have your letter, a letter which I rather resent.
And did you send it?
Of course not.
As if he would.
You didn't send it.
Of course not.
What's going
You
on?
dare to tell me that this is not the letter you sent.
And what is it that I meant to have sent?
Your days at the Opera Populaire are numbered. Christine Daae will be singing on your behalf tonight. Be prepared for a great misfortune, should you attempt to take her place.
Far too many notes for my taste, and most of them about Christine. All we've heard since we came is Miss Daae's name.
Miss Daae has returned.
I hope no worse for wear as far as we're concerned.
Where precisely is she now?
I thought it best she was alone.
She needed rest.
May I see her?
No, monsieur, she will see no one.
Will she sing? Will she sing?
Here, I have a note.
Let me see it.
Please.
As Fearman starts to read this note, we hear the Phantom's actual voice overlap it. And when you see the scene in the live musical version, in the theater, you hear the Phantom's voice coming from all over as he reads this note. And in this note, he's giving his rules and kind of reiterating that he's given rules to them before and they haven't followed them, so he has some new rules for them.
Gentlemen, I have now sent you several notes of the most amiable nature detailing how my theatre is to be run. You have not followed my instructions.
I shall give you one last chance.
Christine Daae has returned to you, and I am anxious her career should progress.
I said before, the Phantom is an architect, he's a magician, he's able to do pretty much anything. So when he is planning out all the things that he's doing, he actually makes models of everything so he can figure out how it's supposed to happen. So he's made characters for all the people that are going to be in the show, and the stage and the chandelier and the set, so that he can plan everything out.
In the new production of Il Muto, you will therefore cast Carlotta as the page boy and put Miss Daae in the role of Countess. The role which Miss Daae plays calls for charm and appeal. The role of the page boy is silent, which makes my casting, in a word, ideal.
I shall watch the performance from my normal seat in box 5, which will be kept empty for me. Should these commands be ignored, a disaster beyond your imagination will occur. I remain, gentlemen, your obedient servant, OG.
So he's given his commands. He wants Christine to play the lead role and Carlotta to play the silent role, the part of the page boy. And then he's also reminded them that box 5 needs to remain empty for his use, and that he will be watching the show from his normal seat in box 5. And we also see here him sealing the envelope. And this is something that most of you have probably never seen before, but back before envelopes that had adhesive on them that you would either lick or peel off a strip to close, this is the way everyone used to close envelopes. They used to melt wax and pour it on the seal of the envelope, and every family would have a seal, usually with the initial of their last name or a small symbol that they would press into the wax before they mailed their envelopes. Hallmark still does this in a way. If you buy a card from a Hallmark store, they give you these little gold seals that you're supposed to use to close the envelopes to symbolize this old-fashioned way of sealing envelopes. But this is the way everyone used to close envelopes a long time ago.
Christine!
Whatever next?
It's all up to help Christine!
This is
I
insane!
know who sent this, the Vicomte her lover!
Can you believe this?
Signora!
This isn't just
Signora!
You are a star!
And always will be.
Signora!
The man is mad!
We don't take orders.
Miss Daae will be playing the page boy, the silent role.
Carlotta will be playing the lead.
Fearman has made a decision to defy the Phantom and put Carlotta in as the lead role and have Christine play the page boy, the silent role, to appease Carlotta because she's upset, but they're going against the Phantom's wishes. And that's where we're going to stop for this session. This will be the last section in this session. And you need to go into Schoology and answer the 4 questions that are there regarding this part of what you've just seen of the Phantom of the Opera. And later this week I'll have a new set of sections for you to watch and some new questions for you. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good week.